Hello everyone, this is Simon, your host for the Modern Awakened Perspective, your map for the path to enlightenment. And I've got a few short stories here for you today. Before I get into them, I want to remind everyone to please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like this content. Also, the comment section is open if you agree or disagree with what I say. Okay, the first story is an interesting story to me about a new technology being developed, or that is developed. It's using lasers to beam audio right to people's ears, or so they can hear words, voices inside their head. Now, in my opinion, I don't think this is actually new technology. It may be newly released information to the public, but I have a healthy bit of skepticism that says this has probably been around and maybe even been used for some nefarious purposes. Maybe even some false flags, such as maybe the Parkland shooting. A lot of these cases of, mass events where a lot of people supposedly get shot or get killed, the perpetrators seem to all have a similar story of hearing voices in their head. Now, it would be horrible to think that someone is actually trying to make people perpetrate these actions to forward an agenda and to use that as a means to their ends. But I don't put anything past these people that are willing to do whatever it takes to keep themselves in power and to keep control of the narrative. So, although this is a new story that's, for us to read about, you got to believe that they've had this technology for quite a while. So, if you've heard about that, there's my perspective on it. If you haven't heard about it, you may want to do some more research into it and make up your own mind. But I really do believe there's something deeper to that story as well. Okay, the next story I want to talk about is it's new to me. But obviously, this is an older story, which seemed to have had some notoriety during the last presidential election. Even though I hadn't heard of it, I just came across this story about Bernie Sanders, who in 1988 took his honeymoon to Russia, which at that time was still the USSR. And, evidently, he has some sort of sympathy, if not him being a communist supporter. Who knows how deep that goes? But it's pretty crazy that he would choose to go there on his honeymoon. This was in 1988 that this happened, where he was actually at the time the mayor of a city called Burlington, Vermont. Yeah, Burlington, Vermont. And he decided to go to Russia of all places. And this is a new story to me, like I said. Recently, a Navy veteran tweeted out the video of him in Russia on his honeymoon, drinking and singing with a bunch of other Russians over there. And he's got his shirt off. He's so drunk. He's probably over there hammered. And, why would you go there if you weren't a supporter of their communist movement? Makes no sense to me. I sort of felt sorry for him before, where he was basically done shady by Hillary Clinton, whereas I think he had won the support of several areas of the country, but they rigged it up so that she got the support, which now, after hearing this story, screw him. He gets what he deserves. If he's not really for America, then, he doesn't need to get anywhere near as close to being a presidential candidate. He may try to run again here, but definitely has no support from me. And so, again, check out that video. It's probably easy to find now. Thank you very much to the Navy veteran who decided to tweet out that video. And very interesting that they were able to hide that for so long. Okay? Now, the next and final story I have for today is about Mexico and their shutting down the pipeline that was taking gas and oil to to the industries and to the refineries, etc. Basically, they did this because there were so many citizens that were siphoning off the gas and oil that they were losing tons and millions and millions of dollars. And if you recall recently that more than 80 people died in an explosion, burned to death after an explosion where they were siphoning off, illegally tapping into these pipelines. So now, as a result of not only the money being lost, but the deaths also, I assume, played a part in this decision, they're now going to take the supplies and move them via tanker trucks and trains, which is now going to make the time that the supplies have to get to their final destination more than 10 times as long. So as a result of the delays in the shipments getting to where they need to be, basically some gas stations have shut down, and the ones that have remained open are limiting customers to maybe 5 gallons of gas, and the ones that are open have lines over a mile long just to get your little bit of gas so you can get back and forth to work or to see your family or to buy groceries or whatever it is. So this illegal tapping into the pipeline system has hurt every single person in the country now, it seems. So the actions of a few have hurt the many. So who knows how long this will remain, this kind of setup. But for now, this is what they've decided to do. And, who knows what's going to happen, how bad it's going to be. But I just found this an interesting story and had to report on that as well. So that's going to be it for today. Again, if you like this content, like and subscribe so more people can get the content in front of them. Helps YouTube and their algorithms put this in people's recommended categories. All right. Thanks again. I'll see you on the next one.